pretty sure we did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What number?
I thought he was going to pass to the right.
I did as well.
I think he thought about it. Same band. Yeah, well, who was that? Who was it?
Welcome to AFCRDTV. I'm here at the Dog and Duck after tonight's 2-0 defeat to Witton Albion with manager Andy Peets. Andy, disappointed with that or an improvement from the last game against Baseford?
Obviously disappointed we've ended up with no points, so yeah, disappointed with that. Performance wise, yeah, a lot happier than I was after Baseford. I was disappointed at Baseford because I didn't think we did enough as a group. We got exactly what we deserved, didn't defend well enough and didn't really have a go at them second half, but that's done and dusted. So moving on to tonight, I thought we had some good spells in the game. I thought the first 20 minutes we were good up until they scored. I thought we were average then till half time. I thought second half we had a go, you know, and I think they're a really good team. I think you have to take your chances when you're on top to beat them, and I think you have to have a little bit of the rubber green, you know, hit the post and coming out and stuff like that needs to go in, and that didn't happen. But no, overall it wasn't too disappointed with the performance.
Let's wind back a bit. You've made several signings. Do you want to talk about that? Nice to see Dan Quigley back first of all.
Yeah, good to see Dan back. We all know what he can bring to the team. Obviously he didn't play in the position I signed him to tonight. Jamie Tank dropped out the last minute. He's got some personal problems, so he literally rang me at 20 to 6, so I had to make some changes, which wasn't ideal, but it was, you know, good that I'd got Dan. He can play centre half and he did a job tonight. Not where I'd choose to play him, but that was the decision there. And like I said, then Richard Bunting pulled his calf in the warm-up, so that made us another change in Joe Curtis coming to the team. So yeah, adversity again tonight against, say, not the sort of things you want when you're looking to play. Well, certainly one of the top teams in the league, but yeah, like I said, the people come in and I thought they put a shift in. Went back to a 4-4-2, which I thought worked at times. We've still got a lot of work to do, but if we perform like that in the next 11 games, I think we'll be okay, and I think we'll get enough points to see us where we want to be.
And another player come back, Jack Bowen. He started really brightly, had a really good early chance in him.
Yeah, I thought Jack was a threat all night against a good team. He won his fair share of headers. There was a good link up at times between him and Shanks. And saying that 20 minutes, Shanks had a couple of good chances, Jack had a chance, and I think we need to score early against them and certainly get in front when we're on top.
A few complaints about their first goal. I don't know, did you see, was there a foul in the lead up?
I'm not going to make too many comments because obviously I can't see it great, but I know Quigg said he was being held and the lad went through and they scored from it, so there was a few contentious decisions, shall we say, and we probably didn't get the rub of the green tonight, but that happens. I can't judge it from where I am particularly, but yeah, Bully had a handball against him when he got booked, which seemed bizarre. We had a few shouts for this, that, and we didn't get them, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but you know, we have to go on regardless of that, don't we?
So second half, I think a lot better with some early chances, hit the post from Taylor, and that was a really good chance, and then I think we hit the bar near the end as well, plus the keeper pulled off a good save. Yeah,
like I said, we created some chances. I thought we were quite exciting to watch at times, and we needed just something to go in because it made it interesting. Certainly at 1-0 if we'd have got a goal, and then say probably one of their few breaks, they put a great ball into the box, didn't they? A great touch, and they've scored. Clinical, you know, very well organised, and that's why they're where they are. You know, they've got a lot of good players, and we knew that, and they were nothing that I didn't expect them to be from the reports I'd got. And like I say, we had to be more clinical when we got our chances. Shanks had a couple first half where we didn't really test the keeper. And like you said, you want the one to hit the post just to drop in. And I think that's where we were tonight.
And I think they'll go and challenge Short Lane near the end, won't they?
I think it's going to be close. I think, after what I've seen so far, they're two very strong teams, aren't they? Shore Lane weren't good enough to beat us in either game. We've had one game against them and they have. But yeah, both really strong throughout. And, we can learn a lot from them tonight. How they passed the ball good. I thought they kept it in the right areas. They made good decisions all over the pitch. They didn't shoot from silly areas. Yeah, they're a good team, and credit to them. It's up to us to try and get as close to them as we can and get in them playoffs now.
I know that's the aim, and we start with Saturday. Won't be an easy game at Northwich. I know they're struggling near the bottom.
No, I watched them Saturday. I went and watched them at Bedworth because we've got a free week. And again, they've picked up quite a lot. And again, it'll be another tough game as they all. We've not had one easy game in this league. But as I've just come back to, if we put a level of performance in like we have tonight, in general, we'll be okay against most teams.
And on the bench, you had a fairly strong bench, and Callum back from injury. Is he fully fit or still struggling a little bit?
Callum needs a little bit longer. He would have come on tonight if we'd needed him to, but I didn't particularly want to risk him because he's going to bring something different to the team. It's also going to free Braddock from right back. I rang Callum at 5:45 when Jamie dropped out. He said, yeah, of course I'll come, which was credit to him. And I said if we'd need him, but I wasn't going to risk him for the sake of it. There was no need. But he's not far away, which is a plus.
And will he be in contention for Saturday?
Yeah, hopefully if he gets through. He's trained the last 2 Thursdays and he's got through most of it, and just when we've done a bit of shooting and he's really struck the ball, he's felt it. So for me, that's telling me he's not quite right. He's had another week, so I'll have a look at him this Thursday, hopefully with a view to being involved Saturday.
And a few thinking caps on about 4-3-3 or 4-4-2 on Saturday.
Yeah, you have to leave that to me, Lammy, John.
I have to keep telling you what to do.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you never take any notice, is there?
No, we'll go. They will be competitive. So I've watched them this week, so I know a little bit how they play, and we'll train Thursday based on Saturday, and we'll get the right players in the right positions, ready to go there and get 3 points and get us back on track.
All right, thanks Andy and John. And again, the final score: AFC Rushden Diamonds 0, Witton Albion 2. The player of the match, number 6 for this evening, Ben Farrell. Ben, I'm sure it had to be a frustrating game for Diamonds tonight.
Yeah, it was a frustrating game. Yeah, to be fair, they made it hard for us once they scored that first goal. A bit of a sucker punch, and it was a downhill challenge from there. To be fair,
But Diamonds got off to, I thought, a great start. Good pace, good tempo for about the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Up and down the pitch. Of course, so was Witton Albion. And then it sort of leveled off a bit. And like you said, that goal in the 16th minute, Thames, after Ben Heath had made a great save, but Stephen Thames in the right place at the right time poked the ball in for a 1-0 lead at halftime.
yeah, it was a debatable foul. To be fair, the ball's up in the air, and Quigsy's gone up for it, and we think it was a foul. And from there, they've gone on and put the call in the net. Bit of a sucker punch, and it was difficult from there. We had a good start, but we did get back into it. But,
And you were definitely in there in the second half as well, especially a shot by Taylor Roche, sort of carrying off both the crossbar and the post. It just wouldn't go in for Diamonds tonight.
yeah, beautiful strike, Taylor. He's a confidence player. So would have done the world a good score on that goal. But yeah, it wasn't to be.
It must have been tough for the last couple of games, called off because of waterlogged pitches. So this is the first game for Diamonds in about 10 days. Is that tough to have a long layoff like that?
We could have done with playing Saturday, to be honest. After losing against Basford, we were eager to play.
Oh, sure.
Saturday was a bit of a letdown, not playing, and then Tuesday tonight.
And then of all teams to play back on the pitch, you're playing against a really good team, second place Witton Albion, very good team.
They were
also,
a very good
they
team.
were lucky tonight too, because I thought Diamonds really had a good performance overall.
Yeah, they're a very good team. You'd like them to go and win the league now ahead of Shore Lane, because it'll be tough to play in the playoffs for sure, but we fancy our chances either way.
Well, you're, I'm sure, hoping to bounce back to snap this now a 3-game losing streak against Northwich Victoria on Saturday at Northwich.
Yeah, that's the aim now. From Saturday, try and forget the last 3 games and get a win on the board and kick on from there and build a bit of confidence.
A little bit of a different lineup tonight for Diamonds. For beginners, Ben Heath in goal, and then we saw some familiar faces from last season, namely Jack Bowen and Dan Quigley. Is the chemistry there, you thought, was nice?
It's nice to get some fresh faces in training. It just spices up a little bit, and Ben's done really well the last few months in goal and training and stuff, so maybe he deserved a go out there, but it's nice to get some fresh faces and just let us know.
Well, you're doing well for Diamonds this season, your first season with AFC R&D, having a good go of it. You're for a good team, good setup here, isn't it?
Yeah, I could do a little better, to be fair. Get a few more goals on the board, but no, I'm enjoying it here, to be fair. It's a good club, and we need to start winning now.
Well, finally, Ben, for new players, I'd like to ask a couple of questions. Who is your team growing up as a kid that maybe a favorite player of yours, and which team do you support?
Arsenal fan,
Gooner.
I'm a Gooner. Thierry, I love Thierry.
Oh, one of the great ones.
And being an Arsenal fan, I shouldn't really, but Stephen Gerrard is yeah.
Oh, Stevie G, good,
fan of his as
another
well.
good one there as well. So, all right, well, Ben, thanks for your time and good luck.
I don't need love.